Welcome, welcome. Good morning, my Mondays at Microsoft fans. Thank you for joining us. I'm Karuana Gatimu. Welcome to Mondays at Microsoft, where we break down the next 2 weeks across the Microsoft world for you with a special focus on modern work, AI, and the Power Platform. I am Karuana Gatimu, Director of the Microsoft 365 Customer Advocacy Group, and I'm joined by my awesome friend, Heather Cook.
Hello, everyone. Hello. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. So happy to be here again with you. And yeah, I am Heather Cook. I'm a Principal PM on the Customer Advocacy Group. Yay, at Microsoft. So hi, Caruana. Yay, good to see you. Absolutely. I know. Super psyched. Good stuff. Busy times.
I know it's really busy, isn't it? We're on inside Microsoft, we're on a dead run, full out sprint to Microsoft Ignite.
Yep.
And there's so many things happening in product. We have a lot of stuff to tell you today. If you're watching us on LinkedIn, you're going to get the links right as we post them, as you're following along. For the rest of you, you can go and check out the event page. We do have a blog for each post now, and you can find it from our main show page, our lovely show page on Mondays at Microsoft, where you can also add us to your calendar and share us with your friends. So you'll have all of the links to everything that we're talking about. And we're going to talk about something actually pretty serious this morning as our big rock, right? Microsoft customers face more than 600 million cyber criminal and nation state attacks every day, ranging from ransomware to phishing to identity attacks. It's really a huge scale problem. And nation state affiliated threat actors demonstrated that cyber operations, whether for espionage or destruction or influence, they play a persistent supporting role in our broader geopolitical conflicts. So this has, expanded onto and has been for some time in our cyber world as an issue, and also fueling these escalation in cyber attacks. We're seeing increasing evidence of the collusion of cybercrime, cyber criminal groups, and the nation state groups sharing tools and techniques, right? It's like best practice sharing for bad actors. So these are some of the insights from the 5th annual Microsoft Digital Defense Report, which covers the trends from July 2023 to June of 2024. Anybody out there, if you're in this business, you need to read this. I think it's important for all of us to be up to speed on what is really happening and the excellence that some of these cyber criminals and nation state actors are actually doing as they're attacking systems. So these folks, 600 million attacks per day targeting Microsoft customers alone, and there has to be countervailing pressure to reduce the overall number of attacks online, right? Effective deterrence can be achieved in a couple of ways: by denial of intrusion or by imposing consequences for malicious behavior. So Microsoft, we are continuing to do our part to reduce intrusions, and we're committed to taking steps to protect ourselves and our customers through our Secure Future initiative, which you can also read about online. This is a really important topic. I think it's important for all of us to understand it. And I'm really proud of all the work that we are doing to help our customers really protect their data and assets from these threats that continue to expand. So starting on a little bit of a somber note, but it's an important one for all of us as professionals in this space. And again, read that report and you will get up to speed on the topic. Heather?
Yeah, another big rock that we have coming up. There's tons and tons of work always being done in our industry areas of the business. And, with a new industry reference architecture for airlines and airports, there's a lot of great things that AI solutions are bringing into the mix. So, lots of hopefully more streamlined tasks, smarter tools, making sure that staffers can really dedicate more time to enhancing the passenger experience, which we all appreciate. I know I do. It was so funny. I just literally moved my suitcase from like right over here to over here, but it's like you can tell what's going on in the world. I'm traveling a lot, so I appreciate all these enhancements. But some of the AI-powered personalization increases revenue per passenger by 10 to 15%. Chatbots that are being introduced into online experiences can reduce customer service costs up to about 30%. which is, giving a lot of value to airports and airlines and communities, right? So this is really the future of aviation. AI not just being a tool, but it's really creating value across this entire industry. And so this industry reference architecture is really, really cool. And you can definitely check it out in this blog. Lufthansa, they've developed one data platform built on Microsoft Azure for all of their self-service applications. And they're doing a lot of cognitive AI services, speech and image recognition. And then American Airlines, which is the world's largest airline, is using Azure as its preferred cloud platform. And so they're using this Connect Me app for the latest crew information. And the airline is also using AI to reduce taxi time and turn times at gates. So you can check out all of that in this blog. It's a really interesting read about what's going on in that industry. So, yeah. And in case you missed it, tossing to Karuana, more on AI and measurement.
Exactly. That's awesome. I love that reference architecture, though. That really speaks to the nerd in me. I love those kinds of documents. So I know I'm a bit of a geek, but I am proud of my nerddom. So yes, measurement is key to making sure that AI stays on track. So this is a story about Hannah Wallach. And Hannah Wallach first started testing machine learning models. And when she first started doing that work, it was a reasonably straightforward task, right? Did the model correctly identify the cats in an image? Did it accurately predict different ratings that viewers might give on a movie? Things of that nature. But now, with the advent of AI, that's a very different process, right? And large language models have to be evaluated in a more complex way. And so Hannah, who is a researcher at Microsoft, she's shifted to measuring AI responses for potential risks. And some of them aren't easy to identify or quantify. They're fuzzy human concepts, she says, such as fairness or psychological safety, both of which are essential as we move into this era of AI and are pursuing trustworthy AI in a responsible way. So when potential issues emerge with unfairness, for example, like such as an AI system only showing women in the kitchen and only showing men as CEOs, something like that, Wallach's team and others around the company step in to understand and define the context and extent of those risks and all the different ways that they might show up in various interactions with the AI system. So once the team develops fixes for any risks that people might encounter, her group measures the system's response again to make sure those adjustments are effective. This is just one of the many ways that we are working to ensure that AI presents a fair and unbiased experience to people who are using it. And it is a journey, but I'm really grateful for Hannah and her team working on this so that we can have confidence in the things that we receive and how we interact, the returns of our prompts, the images that we create. And so make sure you take a look at this article. Measurement is key to helping keep AI on track by Susanna Ray. I think it's, again, an important concept for all of us here as we're leaders in the era of AI to really understand. So thank you, Hannah. Big shout out to you and your team. Heather, back to you.
Right on, right on. Yeah, and more good stuff around the world where people are writing amazing papers and coming up with great solutions. And this one, in case you missed it, is about the conservation of water. Leaking pipes is really an insidious enemy. It accounts for about 30%. And in some localities, 70% of piped drinking water being lost around the world, which that's a huge amount. And some leaks are really difficult to pinpoint, but there's a new AI tool that's making the process faster and more accurate. So like a leaking fire hydrant in the Santan Water District, just southeast of metropolitan Phoenix, there's a white mark that's showing that there's a leaking fire hydrant. And, the leak is a medium one between 1 to 3%, or sorry, 1 to 3 to 7 gallons per minute. So if you think about that, that's adding up really quickly. And so like a leaking equivalent to the average consumption of 43 households, right? So this is a lot. So this new technology. It's an AI acoustic tool developed by FIDO Tech. Their technology not only detects the leaks more precisely to their location, but it ranks them by size so that a utility can figure out like which one to do first. So this is an Oxford, UK based company. Fido's working with a bunch of utilities. So EPCOR in Arizona and the State Water Commission in Querétaro, Mexico, as a part of a partnership with Microsoft to act more responsibly for replenishing water in watersheds, and also looking for leaks to try and combat this, like, 30 to 70% of loss through leaking water. So this is just another great example of AI being used to, pinpoint a specific problem that will help globally. So pretty cool stuff in this article for sure. And with that, we're going to get into product because there is so much going on in all areas of the business right now. So, Karuana, you want to talk about the large language models?
Yes, I do. And I'm really happy that, of course, I'm in Arizona part-time. And so I'm really happy to hear that they're using that. Water conservation is a big issue here, as it is in many places. So I love these practical outcomes and improvements that are coming. But, we've been talking about large language models for a long time. But have you had a moment to take the time to really understand the key features and benefits of large language models, especially as the technology continues to evolve? Well, you can now, because there's a fantastic paper that was written that will help you to understand what those large models can actually do. It's important for us to be able to talk about the benefits, right? There are features and there are capabilities that as technologists we want to leverage, especially since large language models, or LLMs, can be used with other Microsoft Azure AI products to build advanced and comprehensive solutions that, much like what we were just talking about. But really understanding these benefits is what you want to talk to your stakeholders and your business leaders about, right? They may not need to know the technology itself, but they need to understand more deeply how it can benefit their organization. Really grateful to Olivia Schoen, who wrote this article. I think it's foundational reading for those of us, especially business solution architects like myself, that are trying to take technology and apply it to real world issues. And so really getting this language and the new words that we're having to learn into our vocabulary and grounded in a way that we can really help other people understand is important. Large language models are trained on a massive volume of data, and once they're properly trained, they have this broad applicability for a range of natural language processing and machine learning applications. And so, there's just so much that's happening in this space, but really make sure that you ground yourself in some of this foundational knowledge about LLMs, especially as we move forward and we talk about small language models and other things. Then you'll make sure to have your base knowledge as this space continues to evolve. So thank you, Olivia. Big shout out for you and for your article. And now I'm going to come home for a moment. I'm going to come home and talk about SharePoint. SharePoint is where I came from, and I am super excited to talk about Copilot agents in SharePoint. I had the immense pleasure of interviewing CJ Tan, who is the product leader leading this amazing innovation on the foundation of SharePoint, which we all know and love. For Copilot agents. And these Copilot agents can be built literally within a few clicks. I just did it. It is super simple, and you can have it ground its answers, right? And reason over documents of your choice or an entire SharePoint site. This is in addition to the capabilities you already get with the Copilot license, Copilot for Microsoft 365. And so this is added value for those of you who are already using that, or maybe something that will be very relevant to you in the scenarios you're trying to improve, like customer service or event management or HR or employee onboarding. In all of those scenarios, an agent in Copilot agent in SharePoint would be super useful. So I want you to go check out the Meet the Makers episode that we just published so that you can hear directly from CJ what they're thinking about, how they got here, and what it's about. You'll see demonstrations. And then, of course, we're having an Ask Microsoft Anything on the Microsoft Tech community. So make sure that you check this out. Really be thinking about how it applies to your business. This is not so much an enterprise feature as it's a feature for anyone who is trying to help people understand information more accurately, and also maybe trying to reduce the amount of times that an actual human has to answer those things. In our own event management process, we are using a Copilot agent in SharePoint to answer common questions for speakers and attendees. And then, of course, if they can't get an answer, they come into our support queue and we help them from there. All of that was so easy to customize. I built it in like 5 minutes, literally, and then have been sharing it with my core team. So I'm really personally excited about this, and I really like CJ and everything that she has to share. So exciting stuff, Heather. I'm just super thrilled about this. You have your background in SharePoint too. I know that we just love to
Yeah.
see innovations land in our platform of choice. But there's more across business applications, Dynamics, and Microsoft Fabric. So tell us all about that.
Will do. Yeah, lots of great stuff coming out every month. I know Clay Wessner does the Power Apps blog, what's coming out for the month. So I give him a shout out. I actually saw him in Redmond last week, which was nice. So shout out to Clay, who always does such a nice job. We've got a new update for pipelines in Power Platform. So if you as an admin are looking to enable your makers to discover your custom host instead of the tenant-wide platform host when they navigate to pipelines, this is the feature you've been waiting for. Since a change was made earlier this year, the platform host and its capabilities really became the landing pad for any maker going to pipelines, the page, due to its kind of out-of-the-box readiness. So now you can have a setting that says use a custom pipelines host. So when tenant admins navigate to the deployment pipeline configuration app for the platform host, you can click Manage Pipelines. You'll see a new setting under the Advanced Settings, which I know people are really excited about. So the other thing that's really cool is Copilot generated deployment notes are now available in 20 major languages for makers outside of the US. So depending on your language settings in the Power Platform page you're deploying from, Copilot will generate deployment notes in that language. And it also means that Copilot can also read and process solutions that aren't in English. So we've got English, and now there's Chinese Simplified, Czech, Danish, Dutch, Finnish, French, German, Greek, Italian, Japanese, Korean, Norwegian, Polish, Portuguese, Brazil, Russian, Spanish, Swedish, Thai, and Turkish, which that's super awesome. I love it when we do those things and get those out quickly, which is pretty awesome. So you can check out that blog post by Anthony Shee, and that's what's going on in the Power Platform realm of the world right now. And definitely check out, any blog for Microsoft. You can, it's like those standard people. I always say this in sessions. It's support.microsoft.com, learn.microsoft.com, adoption.microsoft.com. Same thing with our products, right? You can put in, powerapps.microsoft.com and be taken to the product pages. So it's just a little good reference to remember how to get to things quickly when you're out there searching in the world. Moving into community and events, I think that's why you saw my suitcase there a minute ago, is that there's been a lot of travel and a lot of travel happening in the world. Part of our global community initiative, which is the MGCI, which we started, during COVID. Part of that is really focusing in on all of these amazing community events that are happening in the Microsoft ecosystem. And so we actually, this past week, yesterday, we moved our MGCI general session, where we usually have a speaker from our regional leaders from the community come on and talk about different topics around event production and sometimes diversity and inclusion. Perla Ramirez was on yesterday talking about how to encourage first-time and new speakers. It was an awesome session, and that's available out on our Microsoft Community Learning YouTube channel on demand. We did an AM and a PM session, and we're going to stream those just like we are live with Mondays at Microsoft going forward. And there's one meeting a month. So invite you all to check out that on the learning channel on YouTube, and then also aka.mswac MGCI if you want to learn more about that initiative and sign up. All of these events end up on our communitydays.org site, which is that wonderful site that's built and managed by our community, led by Tom Daly, MVP out of New York and New Jersey, and a whole host of people who have been helping bug fix and do QA. And so this is that a great project that's run by the community, and it's on Microsoft infrastructure. So we can pull up the slides on what just happened in the past week. Oh my goodness. All of these events just happened. They're amazing. Shout out to everybody who had all of their amazing events. South Africa, I know that they did a trifecta in Cape Town and Johannesburg and Durban. I've done that circuit of shows before, so a big shout out to everybody out there who puts on those events. Portal, Portugal, Stroop Waffles in Irvine, Scottish Summit just happened, beloved event for our Power Platform community. So many things going on. Collab Days New England just happened. That is always an awesome event. Bangkok and Belgium. So just so many things that just happened this past couple of weeks. And then moving forward, again, the list is just as long. My goodness. We've got Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia coming up, AMP. There's a couple of events coming up in Stockholm. There is workshops going on in Minnesota, Manila, Philippines. We've got a community days happening in Montreal. That is so exciting. Iowa Code Camp. Albania, my goodness, Mexico City is coming up on Halloween. The New Zealand Business Application Summit's coming up. AI Community Conference in Houston and Tunisia. So just so many things coming up. Most of these are community led, which means they're free, usually 1 day, maybe 2 day events. And also it will notate on communitydays.org whether or not it's a hybrid or a virtual event. Most of these are in person. But you can check out all of that stuff on communitydays.org. And then leading into our community produced events, those are ones that are ones that have registration. So Scottish Summit just happened, and then also coming up Windows Server, TechCon 365 Dallas is coming up in November. I know a bunch of our teammates are going. Mark Cashman is keynoting. Josh Leparati will be there. And then coming up, AIM Forum Europe in Manchester, and then European SharePoint Conference coming up in Stockholm, where a bunch of our Microsoft folks will be there. People on my team. We are a big sponsor of that event and also of TechCon 365 Dallas. So very excited for all these events coming up. And again, you can find all of this for the Microsoft ecosystem on communitydays.org. And you can hear more about being an event producer and learning more and more on that from our aka.ms MGCI, the Microsoft Global Community Initiative. So definitely, hopefully we'll be checking things out with you at an upcoming community event soon. And we have some more flagship information coming up here from Karuana on Ignite.
That is fantastic. So many things going on in the community. And that is also supported by our big flagship event that is coming up November 19th to 22nd, yep. Microsoft Ignite in Chicago. The actual physical event is sold out. But many of us from our team will get to be there. We'll be hosting expert meetups and we'll be in the community space. But I'm happy to announce that I have been selected as the host again for the online component. So myself and a huge team of fantastic and talented people are going to make sure that the digital experience is also wonderful. So make sure to join us at ignite.microsoft.com. You can register today for that digital experience. And we'd love to see you there. Make sure that you are commenting in the chat and making your presence felt. We will have some fun ways to bring your tweets and your comments on air. And I'm really looking forward to getting to do that again. It's one of the funnest things I get to do at Microsoft. And so I'm very grateful to be a part of that show. Along the way, make sure you share our Microsoft community page with your colleagues so that they are getting the benefit of all of those amazing events that Heather was just talking about. Communitydays.org is a fantastic way to build your technical skills for free. This is the time to invest in yourself and in your career. And we want to make sure that you're taking advantage of everything that our entire community and ecosystem has to offer, from learn.microsoft.com to the actual physical training events and some virtual at communitydays.org. There's a place for you to build your skills. So we're sprinting forward to Microsoft Ignite. We're excited about ESPC in Europe. I'm going to get to go to that. That's going to be wonderful. Give a keynote there and see all our friends across the pond.
Great.
And
Yep.
Heather, you were on the road like a
Mhm.
mad woman. So I appreciate you for being
Yeah.
in and out of airports. And but we get to at least see each other on Monday mornings. Every other
Yeah.
Monday morning is wonderful.
Absolutely. So yeah, awesome. I'll be in Paris and Berlin next week. So for AI tour, that's where I'm going. So
That's
good.
wonderful. All right,
Yep.
everyone. Well, that's another episode of Mondays at Microsoft. Please come back and join us on November 4th for our next show, and check out our page for all of our community studio efforts and work that is happening across it. Share the Mondays at Microsoft page with your colleagues. We love to see you. Thank you so
Yep.
much, and keep those suggestions for show topics and information coming. We're going to try to do that as we bring in more guest hosts and fun content throughout the year. So we'll see you soon. Thanks so much.
Absolutely.
Take
Take care,
care.
everybody.
Bye
Bye.
bye.